Hello everyone, welcome back to my third episode of Cyber Shield Chronicles by Hezron Munges Chacha. This is a continuous series on how to build a basic free cybersecurity lab. Before we continue watching this video, consider checking out my previous episode on YouTube that I uploaded almost 7 days ago, and also a write-up about the same on my blog post. I'll share the links on the description below. So without further ado, let's go into the video of the day. And today I'm going to take you through things to do after installing Kali Linux. So by default, Kali Linux may lack the essential tools for seamless day-to-day penetration testing. And for that matter, there exist a few key enhancements to refine our experience with the operating system. I will take you through my write-up as the presentation on my blog, so follow along and also on my blog. We can just start this by just checking. The first thing is to create a snapshot. I will open the instance of Kali Linux virtual machine on my VirtualBox manager. So I'll click on it and open the instance. I'd already opened it, so I'll enter my username that we had already created if you followed along my previous video. So I'll give it the username and password. The first thing I will do is creating a snapshot, and creating a snapshot you need to go on menu, then machine, then you take a snapshot. So it will ask you for a name. So for my case, I'll just put today's date and probably what it stands for. So I'll just use today's date and say fresh install because I haven't worked on it, and click on OK. So it will showcase the progress here on how it's taking the snapshot. So let's give it, it takes a few minutes and it's done. So the second thing to do is changing your time zone and to adjust the time zone based on your location. For my case is Africa. So what you'll do, let's go back. Do this if you didn't change it during installation, is just coming here on the start button, then search on time and date. You click on that. I'd already changed mine. So if you haven't changed yours, just click on unlock, enter the password, click authenticate. Then you can select on this. For my case, it's Nairobi. So I've selected Nairobi as my time zone. I'll lock that. So I'll click on close. So the next thing to do is setting up the root password. That's our top priority, establishing a root password. By default, in most cases, the username is Kali and password same as Kali, or sometimes it's root and the password is Tor, T-O-R. So we'll go back to the VirtualBox. So I'll launch the terminal. So under terminal, what I'll do, write sudo -i then give it the username, the password, sorry, that I used to create the instance. So once I'm taken into this section, I'll just do password, sorry, pass wd. So for this is to change the current password of the current session. So I'll give it my own password. I will retype. The password has successfully been changed. So for that purpose, I may need to log out and log back in. So I've been logged out. What I'll do, I'll just do su root. Then I'll give it the username password I had already created up above. Click on enter, and now I'm in as root. So if you need to do probably log in as the previous account holder, I can right click, just do sudo su hchacha, give it my previous password that I used to create this account, and boom. Now you see the difference. Here I've logged in as hchacha, and on this section I've logged in as root. So that's how you set the root password. So the fourth thing to do is to create a standard user, and for that matter we have a series of commands that we need to run. So we'll go back to our session. In this session we'll create the standard user. And to do that, I will just get into sudo. So I'll do sudo su, enter my password, because the next creating a standard user is an privileged role, so I'll have to log in as a root user. Sorry about that. I will put my correct password. So now we're in this session. Try to confirm the sudo group. So I'll grep single quote sudo, close that single quotes, navigate to the folder etc group and click enter. So I can confirm we now have the root account as well as the hchacha account that we had created when we were installing Kali Linux. Then to create a new user, you'll use the command user add -m. You choose any name. I'll choose myself as hchacha -pro _ so click enter. Remember, this command can only be run as a privileged user, so you need to be in the sudo session. Then the next thing I need to do is set a password. So pass wd, then the account name that I've just created, pro. You can use tab to autocomplete. Click enter. So I'll give it a password. So I'll enter. So I've successfully created the account. So the next command to run is usermod -a sudo hchacha _ autocomplete. Then the next command is ch sh -s, then navigate to the bin folder, then bash. So for this command, what it does is to set probably the user default shell to bash. So I'll click enter. So just to confirm I've gotten into the sudo group, I will use the previous command. So grep sudo etc _ group, then hit enter. You can now confirm I have the user account here, hpro. Now we are in privilege. We've been able to close on creating the standard user. So if you see hchacha here or the account you've created, please note you've been able to do this successfully. So you can also do this by going on this section, click on start using a graphic user, then search users and groups. You can do this also on this particular section by just clicking on add and performing those actions as a privileged user here. So to confirm I've been able to create this user successfully, I'll just do su hchacha _ pro, click on enter. It will prompt me for the password I created, so I'll do Kali, and boom, I've been able to log in as the hprochacha account. So the next thing will be updating and upgrading your Kali Linux, and for this purpose it's really keen just to be able to upgrade the list of software packages from the repository which have been configured in Kali Linux. So we'll go into our box. So allow me to close this. We'll get into terminal, and since these are privileged role, so we'll get into sudo, give it my username and password. Then once you're in this section, you'll just need to check the contents of the source file. So I'll do cat etc /apt /sources. So this is what currently we have configured in that file. But if you want to do a change or an edit to that particular section source list, you can just do nano in privilege. So etc apt sources. Then you can be able to scroll down, add your source here by copy pasting. Once you're done, click Ctrl O to save and hit enter, and click Ctrl X to exit. So since we've been able to confirm we have the sources configured, what I'll do next is quickly just run a few commands. And the first one is sudo, though I'm already in sudo privilege, apt update -y. So as it runs, this command, what it does, it refreshes the list of available packages from the repositories. So once you're done, we'll do sudo apt upgrade -y and hit enter. So what this command does, it upgrades the installed packages to the latest versions. Please go and get a cup of coffee. I'll see you in 46 minutes. So once we get to this particular page or this particular dashboard, you'll just click on OK. Then this will continue the installation. So we'll start the progress from 0 to 100. So this is another waiting game. So on this screen, you'll just click OK for it to complete. So it's been over an hour. We've finally completed that particular script. So we'll move to the third script, which will be sudo apt dist upgrade -y. So what this particular command does, it performs a distribution upgrade, handling the dependencies changes when the new version requires it. So it takes like between less than 2 minutes. We should be able to be done. So let's wait. So it's done. We'll move to the last command before we do the last command before we do a restart. So I'll do sudo apt auto remove one word -y. So what this command does, it runs for around 16 seconds. So what it's doing is just removing unnecessary dependencies or packages. So we should be done in the next like a couple of seconds. So we're done. So we'll do a reboot for it to complete the process. I'll do reboot. So as it reboots, I will just go to the blog and just take you through. So please note, all this can also be done through this combined command. So what it will do, it will be separating the commands using the ampersand or the and sign. So this combines the update, upgrade, and distribution upgrade commands in one line, executing them sequentially only in the previous command succeeds. So what happens is once update completes, it is when it will take to the upgrade command. So let's go and check if we've completed the boot process. Yes. So you'll enter your username and password. So there's no issue so far. Perfect. Let me just confirm I'm able to log in. Go into root. Perfect. So it seems we are all good. So the sixth thing to do once you install Kali Linux is install the VMware tools. So we'll do this just by running that particular command. And let's do this. So sudo apt install open vm -tools -y. So this will just take a few seconds and we'll be done. So it's done. The seventh thing to do is to install a terminal multiplexer. So for my case, I love using Telix. However, also Terminator is part of the popular choices of users who need multi-terminals to access within a unified interface, aiding the productivity by managing a task or connection efficiently within one terminal window. So we'll move into that particular task. I'm already in a privileged access. So what I'll do, I'll run this command sudo apt install tilix -y. Let me just clear this. Once it's done, you can do that command tilix and it should be able to actually open up. Some of the functionality that we have is like you can have that separate horizontally and vertically. Then you can open another session, so you'll have multiple sessions you can be able to move in between. So this is not what we are planning to do in this particular video. I'll show you that in a different video. So the next thing will be number 8, enabling the copy and paste between Windows and Kali Linux. Let's go back to our session. So I'll move to, so what you'll do, you'll move to devices, then you have this section, shared clipboard. So by default, if I'm able to pick something, let me see, let me like copy this particular text. If I try to copy it across, that will not happen. But if I now go to devices, then clipboard, change it to any other of this particular side of direction. So for my case, I'll do by direction. So if I do this and paste, sorry, it's not in the clipboard. Let me just copy it again. Copy. I'm able to do the copy paste, and vice versa. Let me do this. Copy. So you see that can happen. So for that particular case, we've been able to close that. The next thing would be number 9, install the Tor browser. And remember, this is just to prioritize your privacy and security. So what Tor does is just to be able to mask you and ensure that the standard user is working within optimal security. So we'll go into our instance. So to install Tor browser, what I'll do, I'll run this command sudo apt get install tor browser minus launcher, one word. So for that, I'll just put the default, which is yes. It will continue the installation. So to open a Tor browser, I'll move from that particular session. I'll open a new one. So this needs to be run as a standard user. So I'll run Tor browser minus launcher. Hit enter. And it will download since I'm accessing it for the first time. So depending on the speeds of your particular internet provider, you should be able now to launch it. So let's give it some time. So it will verify the signature and install. So we're done for that. So it will launch. So what you'll need to do is just configure connection, but for my case, I'll use the default. I'll just hit on connect. So depending also on the speeds of your internet provider, you should be able to have a successful connection. But for now, let's give it some time. So let's just check what's my IP. So I'll check what's my IP. So I can confirm I'm not in the States. So you can actually see this IP that has been given. I've been given an IP in Canada, which is I can actually confirm I'm now able to browse behind a hidden IP so securely. So we are going to do the 10th aspect, which will be installing the text editor. So we have numerous code editors, and for myself, I love using Visual Studio Code, which has garnered favor amongst developers and cybersecurity enthusiasts in the recent past. So what I'm going to do is just going to download from the official website. So I'll go back to my instance. So I'll open browser of my choice. I've taken Mozilla. I'll search for VS Code. I will go under the download section. So once you click on the download section, it will take you to this page. So I'll go for Debian Ubuntu. So I'll download that particular setup. Depending on your speeds, it will start downloading. So I'll open my terminal, then change directory to the download section, because that's where the setup has been downloaded. Just to confirm, I'll do ls, so it's there. So I'll just do apt install, then that particular path, then hit enter my password to install. So we're done. Just to open it, you'll go under start, then you'll hit on launch. So for this section, you will just search VS and it will bring you Visual Studio, and you click on it. You should be able to launch that instance. So just to confirm, we've been able to successfully install Visual Studio Code. So on another video, I'll be able to take you through on how now to actually use the application. So the next thing to do is install Python. And just to confirm, as a cybersecurity expert, you may find it crucial to craft an automated Python script. And for that, we need to have Python installed in our test lab. So I'll move to our lab. So in our lab, what I'll do, the first thing I'll need to just check if I have Python installed. So I'll check on the Python version. So I'll write Python 3, 2 dashes. Version. So we have Python 3 installed, but if we didn't have that installed, I'll just do sudo apt install Python 3 minus pip, and it will do the installation. But for that case, I already have the latest version, so no need to actually confirm whether it's still that particular version. So I'll just check the version again. So the 12th thing to do would be installing an FTP client, and for purposes of just moving files in between. So you need to handle FTP tasks pretty soon when you're doing the vulnerability testing. So your workstation won't be able to be equipped with a FTP client, and for that case, I recommend FileZilla, which I'm going to install in my instance. So I'll just launch it. So the command to install FileZilla is sudo apt install FileZilla minus common minus y. So it will install. It won't take some time. It's a pretty quick installation. So to run the instance of FileZilla, you just need to write, let me clear out of this. So FileZilla, you should be able to launch the particular instance of FileZilla. So I'll just click on OK, and perfect. We have FileZilla client installed on our Kali Linux. So that will be taken through its particular operation in a separate video. So another thing to do is configure file sharing, and I know we need to create a file shared directory in between Kali and Windows. So what I'll do, I'll quickly create a folder on my desktop, which I'll name FileZilla _share. So I'll go back to my instance and launch it. So under the device section, under shared folders, click on the settings. Then on the pop-up that appears, click on this icon to add. So I'll navigate to the path. So on desktop, there's this folder, select. Then remember to do auto mount and click OK. So to be able to see it, I'll open the this particular section. So you'll just go under your home folder, then it will launch. So under devices, you should be able to see it appearing as one of the devices. So if I go back under this section, I create something. So right click, create a file, test file underscore file, test from Windows. I'll just hit save and close this. So if I go back to my instance and refresh, I should be able to see it. So I will also use my instance just to write something from this other section, test from curly. I'll save. Once I close it and go back to my Windows instance and open, I should be able to see that update. So one last thing that I will not recommend, probably for purposes of if you want to try it, is just trying to insert the additional CD image. So for my case, I had trouble doing that. You can always find it under devices, then guest OS. You should be able now to launch and just follow the steps that I've provided on my blog. So it's important to remember that I have been able to take you through these particular activities, but I do not promote any illegal activities. So I just do this for educational purposes. And in case you use these for illegal purposes, I will not be held responsible for your action. So my purpose is just to educate you and share information who have not, and how just to secure yourself when it comes to internet hygiene. So thank you for watching the video till the end. I know it's been a lengthy video, but I appreciate your patience being with me up to the end of the video. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Leave a comment, of course a like, and if you have a feeling that you need others to come on board, please share with your friends and family. Then yeah, to make this conversation continue going, I'll be able now to add more videos, and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.